What is good, everyone? It's your boy Brando, aka Scoops, back with another mini episode, filler episode. Joined again another week by my dog, BigShotRob.
Going
Thank you for
on?
joining me, bro.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, plus joining you, man. Another week, another with me and Big Shot Rob. Hopefully next week or maybe even Friday, me and the full crew might be back in doing the full show. But hey, you never know. Might see my boy Rob here in the future permanently. So all in all, Rob, last week, man, we talked, man. We kind of, recapped the Orange Bowl, everything going on. Uh, Transfer portal had two big pickups last week. BasketVols were rolling going into their Maryland game. I guess let's
hmm
go ahead and start there first. My man over here is the BasketVols wizard. He be talking, has so many good takes. Tennessee went out there against Maryland. I think we had a crazy point lead, up 20 points at one point or more.
hmm
Obviously, the final scoreboards is a whole different game. But really, Tennessee went in there and dominated until the final minutes. I want to get your take on that. Tennessee obviously got the win in New York, but what was your big take from that game?
So my big take from that game was being able to get hit in the mouth and being able to respond. Because first half they went up big. First half was 34-17. Second half they got outscored 36-22 and still won the game. I believe the last 11 minutes of the game they only hit three shots, but all three of those
Jeez.
shots that they hit were all 3 pointers. You had Tyreek Key come off the down screen, pop at the top of the key. You had Meshack in the corner, and then Zakai in the corner. I believe those are the last three. But just embracing the moment. Knowing that there is a tomorrow, so I can still play today. It felt like a March atmosphere. Felt like Final Four Elite Eight game. But those are the kind of games you want early in the season, so you know how to handle it as you go down the season. Being able to play without Adu and without Triple J is it's not easy to do because those are two of your better defenders on the team. You were still able to play good defense in the first half. Second half kind of went downhill, but I mean, essentially it was a home game for Maryland. They withstood the crowd, they withstood the run, they withstood everything. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think they ever lost the lead. They
Oh
didn't.
man,
They
no, yeah.
they had the lead the entire game. You know what I mean? So, and I mean, you can see that. Julian Phillips kind of had an off night. But I mean, he's a freshman. What do you expect? Shot 52% from the free throw line. That is absolutely atrocious. That is not how
Terrible,
you win
man.
basketball games. So a combination of shooting 52% from the free throw line, blowing a 20-point lead, and then on top of that, you still win the game. Chances are you don't win those games, but Tennessee found a way to get it done, man. And hey, hats off to him. Rick Barnes know what he's doing. That's why he get paid millions and I don't.
Hey man, I thought it was cool how you mentioned like the early tournament games. Obviously, before the season, we had Gonzaga. We took off and beat Kansas in the battle for Atlantis, and then go up to Brooklyn, New York, and kind of get out with this one. Like
Yeah.
you said, man, the free throw shooting was awful, but our field goal percentage shooting, man, 28.8%. Like I think there was a stat I forgot. I don't know, I have it
Dang.
right in front of me, but it was like it's almost impossible to win like that. But
Yeah.
Tennessee's defense, man, like time and time again, like we said, have kept them in the game. And this was a game that they didn't get to match it for a full, 40 minutes on the court. But man, they did just enough. Props to Maryland being one of the first teams in a while to score over 50 on us. That was,
Mhm.
defense still played lights out and definitely won us that game. Julian Phillips, yeah, he had an off night, but like you said, man, we did this shit without Triple J and Adu. Adu had his little flu game, was on the mask on the court,
And
and
Vescovi's hurt. He's not
yeah,
100%.
exactly, man. And he still went out there and played some minutes. So I thought that
Yeah.
was great. Zakai, that knockdown three right in dude's mouth, that told me right then and there that this team was winning that ball game.
Hey, that boy almost got ticked up after that too.
Oh, he did, man, because he was
Hey,
talking. I know
he
me and you
was
talked about
talking
that.
dirty to him, bro. He was talking dirty. I mean, I love it. I do. But at the end of the day, you got to be able to control your emotions and let your game do your talking because later on in the season, that can cost your team. I can guarantee you, if this was actually March, Zakai Ziegler would have got teched up. 100% would have got teched up. 'Cause that's one thing they're not going to play. When you get to the playoffs and stuff get chippy, they don't want that. It's early in the season, so they kind of let it slide. But as they get down the road, he's gonna have to chill out with that, man, because they are 100% gonna take him up. Referees watch other games and see how players are. Oh, I
Oh
got
yeah, for
Tennessee this
sure, for
weekend.
sure.
Let me go watch that game from last week. Oh, that kid right there. Oh yeah, I'm on him. That's what referees do. I know that for a fact simply because I have friends that referee and I used to referee. When you got a kid that's a hothead, you just automatically ready for him. Like, hey, you ain't getting no warnings with me. I ain't dealing with it tonight. So he's gonna have to keep that under control, but I'm sure he will. Rick Barnes got in his tail, it look like so.
Yeah. I want to go ahead and throw it out there. If anyone that's watching, want to speak, DM the Vols ATB page. I'll send you the link. We can hop on and, take some questions on top of that. But Rob, looking at this box score, man, we only had one player that had double-digit points, and that was Akai Ziegler with 12.
Mm-hmm.
But to mention like our down low game, obviously Julian Phillips didn't have his best game. That's okay as a freshman. Being without Adu, Euros only had 14 minutes and 2 points. It was kind of, questionable with him. I want to give a shout out to Olivier, man. That man played 35 minutes. And yeah, he only had 8 points. He had 9 boards, though, and 3 assists. But, man, to go down there, step up, 35 minutes playing on the court, that's not easy, especially someone coming off an injury. Hasn't had, the brightest, coming off the pick down low game. But, man, he did enough to get the Vols a W. And that allowed the guys to play overall. An overall team win, man. I can't describe it more than that. Obviously, I had to knock on wood because I was talking in group chats, saying, a team 2 years ago, in a close game like this, they would have rallied back. Yeah. They would have rallied back. But you kind of reassured me, man, that this is like one of those, tournament prep games.
Yeah.
We're gonna see that a lot down the road. We got another one coming up against Arizona. But man, this game obviously came out to win 56-53. But watching that game, I think there's a lot of things to fix, but there's a lot of things to be happy about as well.
Absolutely, man. I'll tell you who the MVP is for me. And don't get me wrong, Akai Ziegler, he played a great game. He was tough all night. He was talking that cash, getting in players' head. But Tobe Awaka was the MVP of that basketball game. He only played 17 minutes, but he shot 3 for 6, 1 for 2 from the free throw line. My man's had 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, only 1 foul. And he's a very physical guy and extremely physical. So imagine being that size, that big, that strong. That fool does not look like he just reclassed and came to college. He looks like a grown man already. You know what I'm saying? But as a true freshman, to be able to do that, stay out of foul trouble, and just step up and help your team out, man, you can't ask for a better start, a better player, man. You can see it. These guys are genuinely happy for each other. They love each other. Anytime someone does something good, anytime someone's on the ground, everyone's running to them and pick them up, man. This team, the good thing is the defense is what's keeping them alive. Once they figure out offensively how to, withstand and sustain good runs, man, this team will be unbeatable. They can go as far as they want to go, but you can't have a bad shooting night, because you have a bad shooting night in March, Vescovy going 1 for 7 or whatever it was, and you shooting 28%, 5 for 30 something from the 3-point line. It's just not. You're not gonna win that late. You're not going to. Sure. So, but it's early. It's early in the season, but should be fine.
The whole Toby thing, man. That's someone true freshman coming into a game. Obviously, a late pickup last year. Coming into the game, you'd expect him to have jitters, Ben, but he really came in there and played his role, played it real. And even Rick Barnes said, he earned himself a lot of minutes, man.
Mm-hmm.
And, for him and Akai to go kind of home, back into Brooklyn, back in New York, up north, get that W. The environment was crazy. Those Maryland fans they were pretty loud. Someone I knew was there was it's compared to condensed it would be in Rupp. The noise was just going crazy, how they were rallying there. And we said, a past team, man, doesn't come out with the win in that game. So, obviously, a huge W. Got a lot to look forward to. Got to go play Arizona again. I know Arizona person is probably looking forward to this game after last year. So I think this definitely matches up well. Who's going to be healthy, who's not. This game is going to be tough, man. But if that defense shows up, we've seen it all. It's time to go put it on the court. We can compete with anybody.
Well, you got to realize Arizona is the number 1 team in the country as far as fast offense, fast pace, getting shots up. They are a run and gun team. So since he's going to have to be ready to play that game, it's kind of hard when you playing so many different teams, because you have to adjust each game that you play. Maryland is a little bit of a big team. They want to play you half court. They want to push the ball, but they also can bang with you as well. So it's a little bit of a slow-paced game. Maryland wants to slow the game down. Arizona wants to speed the game up extremely fast. That's what they want to do. So, coming off of playing Sunday, we're playing a super slow-paced game versus coming this Saturday, you're going to have to be ready to go, ready to run. But you have to stay true within yourself. That's where a lot of kids mess up, man. They try to, I got to go match for match. You don't have to go match for match. Play your game, stay within yourself, and you'll be all right.
No, for sure, man, for sure. Uh, yeah, one to definitely look forward to. I wonder what happens when we do slow down our offense. It's going to be interesting to see how Arizona responds and how we want to respond to the speed of it. Just transition offense. It's kind of been kind of sloppy, so want to see that kind of get cleaned up. Definitely has to against a team like Arizona, man. I think
Yeah.
that is going to be the number 6 versus the number 9 team in the country. I think you definitely got to see it in our guard play come alive, have some leadership up there. Especially down low, man. See the status of Jonas Adu. Hopefully he's healthy to play in that game.
Yeah.
And all in all, a big one this Saturday, man. Going to be a really huge game. I think that if Tennessee can win this game. I think today they were projected as a 2nd seed in the way too early battle tournament ranking. So a number 2 seed, man. That's just can't really ask for much better right now.
Yeah, man, they're playing good. They deserve that. I think that once again that Colorado game humbled them.
Oh
Gave them
yeah,
a piece of pie that they didn't want. You know what I mean? They got that piece of humble pie and it didn't taste good at all. You got embarrassed at home in front of your fans at a home game. Oh, it was in Nashville. It was a neutral site. No, it wasn't. It was a home game for Tennessee. It was in Nashville. That place was full of orange. Colorado barely had anybody, and you got your tails whipped. And they've learned from it. But that's what matters, man. As long as you learn from it, you get better and you don't make the same mistake twice. That's all that matters, man. Life is all about lessons. It's how you react to it. It's how you adjust to it. It's how you improve from it.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. And then get this one under your resume. Obviously, you got Maryland, Kansas. You had Arizona to that. Going in just into SEC play. Really can't start off better than that, man. Obviously, you got to go play. We've learned from Colorado and Bridgestone. I've learned from seeing that if they don't show up, if you don't show up to play, some team's going to come out there and take advantage. Someone's going to eventually get hot. So it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, we talk about now like college basketball. It's a whole different aspect, man. These teams will light up in a hurry. Who do you think has to step up most in that game for the Vols?
So it depends on, if Adu's playing, depends on Josiah Jordan James playing, depends on how Vescovy is feeling. But if I had to just, take a name off top and say they have to have a good game, it's gonna be Zakai Ziegler every single game. Every single
Yeah,
game,
that's
I'm
true.
going to choose Ziegler simply because they don't have a true ball handler. You got one of the best shooters you got two of the best shooters in the country on your team in Vescovy and Tyreek Key, and Tyreek Key's playing point guard, something he's not really that comfortable doing. If you see the game Saturday when he came off that down screen off the top of the key and
So
he knew he was gonna shoot that. If you watch that play again, he was like, I don't care what happens when I catch this ball, I'm turning and I'm shooting. That's what he wants to do. But I understand they don't have ball handlers, so he has to handle the ball. But if Barnes is able to find a way for someone else to handle the ball when Zakai's not on the floor, Tyreek Key will be the X factor to them making a deep run in March. In my opinion, one of these games he's gonna come out and just have a 30 piece. I just feel it. Honestly, I feel it. Like one of these days it's gonna
it's gonna have to happen, man. He's gonna get that stroke where he's going from 3.
Yeah.
That key for 3 thing, man. I think it's only at its surface. Definitely gonna have to be him that steps up, man, just because of the whole rotation, health wise, security wise, consistency. Need that to happen, especially for him to kind of play out for that transfer job. Obviously a different roster that we could have had, but this one right here, man, I think overall it has all the tools. So a big one this week, definitely, another tournament ready game, like my boy Rob likes to say, man. They've been shining, expecting, a good outcome for us in that one. Moving on, I guess, go ahead and touch into the football things before we talk any football, any college football. Obviously, any Mississippi State fans. I know a couple of my friends that are State fans that listen to the show. My condolences to y'all, the family of Coach Leach, everybody involved. Obviously, rest in peace, Coach Leach, Mike Leach. What a hell of a coach, man. Special guy. One of the funniest guys, but one of the most uniquely smart coaches on the field. Obviously, we wouldn't be, having Josh Heupel right now if things didn't play out in life. If it wasn't for Mike Leach, Josh Heupel's offense would not have the wrinkles it has in the air raid sequence if it wasn't for Leach. And, he changed the game for decades, and it's still not, been able to be stopped. And you're seeing that happen now with, Heupel and everyone else. So a guy that's, changed the game forever, but an even better human being. So my friends that are listening, man, I know y'all are going through it. Obviously, the Arnett was promoted. That's going to be a big thing to kind of, have on your shoulder and go into the bowl game and next season as a program, man. I think he truly did change Mississippi State for the best. But anyone he touched in life, man, like he would even homeless people, someone that just treats a person like a person. So definitely whenever someone like that is gone, leaves this earth, it's obviously a sad day on earth.
Yeah,
Uh,
man, it is, man. My condolences to that entire fan base, family, friends, loved ones, everything, man. When you lose someone like that unexpectedly, it's tough to deal with, man. It's tough. I've had losses in my life too, coaches as well. So I know
for
what it
sure.
feels like, man. But at the end of the day, I I pray that his family and friends are all right. I pray that each and every one of them just come with peace, come to peace, man, because it's not easy, man. But he's resting in a better place, no more pain, no more suffering, and he's watching over, man. He's watching over.
Yeah, definitely a crazy few days. Everything that happened, just
Yeah,
one of the saddest things. First time I've ever seen it in my lifetime. So obviously going to be a dark cloud over a lot of sports fans when they think about that.
yeah, man.
Um, just going into the Vols related stuff, man. I guess the biggest thing the last few days for the last week since the last time we talked will probably be our bowl game opt outs. First, you had Cedric Tillman announced that he was opting out and getting healthy for the NFL draft. Obviously, that one was not surprising just with his overall health. The next two, were kind of 50-50, just kind of seeing which way they were going to swing. Darnell Wright accepted his, bid to the Senior Bowl. That's likely an indicator that he might, be testing the draft, getting out there. And then Jalen Hyatt today, the Blendikoff Award winner for the Vols, announcing today that he's going to forego and go to the NFL draft and not play in the Orange Bowl. So three huge keys. The three possibilities for Tennessee on the table to kind of see what guys are going to do, the major factors. 0 for 3. So definitely some big shoes to fill. Rob, your kind of takeaway going into the Orange Bowl, who you got like stepping up, people stepping up, what the team kind of shifts to with those departures.
I feel like Josh Hype was known for a while that this was gonna happen. I mean, let's be honest here. There's no reason for Tillman to play. There's no reason for Hyatt to play. I mean, Darnell really ain't got a reason. Darnell proved himself against, some of the top linemen, defensive linemen in the country. Darnell ain't
Oh
got no
yeah,
reason
for
to
sure.
play either, but I think he just wants to play. So,
Yeah.
um, but as far as stepping up, man, on the offensive side of the ball, I believe the offensive line has to rally this team because you're missing your skill
For sure.
players, you're missing your quarterback, and I feel like the offensive line is the one group that's not really dropping bodies, the way that the rest of the team is. I feel like they have to get this team rolling, assert their dominance, and run the football, man. We create holes for the running backs. Let them do their thing, get through. Squirrel White has to step up.
Yeah.
Ramel Keaton, I already know he's gonna step up. He's done it all season.
Oh
If
yeah,
I'm being
that's true.
completely honest with you, the offense really looked better with Tillman out simply because Hooker didn't have a blanket to throw to. Hooker, he anytime he got the rip at Tillman, he's gonna throw it at Tillman. So I think Tillman being out kind of helped the offense a little bit more simply because he was able to scan the entire field and look everywhere. Um, if Joe Milton has improved, which I think he has, um, it's gonna be good weather. It's not gonna be raining, so I don't see any overthrows. I see some good long shots. I see some good balls over the middle. That's probably his best ball that he throws is over the middle. It's a laser, a rocket. Squirrel White's gonna catch whatever you throw him. If you overthrow him, I don't know what to tell you, but
Oh man, he gonna be.
yeah, but it should be good though, man. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be all right. I think the defense will come ready to play as well, simply based off the fact of they got embarrassed a few weeks ago, and yeah, they came back and smacked Vandy, but Vandy sucks. Vandy's
Yeah,
horrible.
that's true.
Vandy's
Very
awful.
true.
They're not good. So I think they got a point to prove. And you also got to realize Tennessee hasn't been here in a very long time. Very long time. So if they're not motivated to play this football game, then I don't know what to tell you. Clemson might not be as motivated to play it because they're normally in the playoffs. They have been for the last 2 years. So this is just another one of those games like, oh yeah, here we go, we're gonna play. But they'll be ready to play. I think they'll be ready to play. They might come out nonchalant, but they'll be ready to play. But I think this will suit up very well for Tennessee to win this football game, especially you got all your newcomers coming in, got like what is it, 12 to like 15
Yeah,
players
15
signed
early
early
enrollees
who's
right now.
who's coming in who'll be at bowl practice Friday. You know what I mean? They get to go to the game and get the experience. Like that'll be cool. They can't play, but they get to go to the game and be there and see what it's like, man. So I think it's just a lot of juice around Tennessee right now, man. So every sport It's just they create juice for one another. Like baseball created juice, basketball created juice, football's
For
creating
sure.
juice. Like
So
every single sport is creating juice for every other sport. So I feel like each and every Tennessee team on campus right now should come out ready to play, man, because it's just a great time to be Tennessee ball, man. Great time.
no, yeah, I definitely agree with your statement. We talked about it last week too, how this game just probably does mean more to Tennessee, just for where we have been and where we are right now, and
Mhm.
Clemson where they're used to being, where they are right now. But I also think the location factor, like you said, is going to be a beautiful day, beautiful
Yeah,
night in South
yeah.
Beach, a coming home party for Missy and Joe Milton. I agree, the offensive line definitely has to step up with Darnell not allowing a sack. Jerome Carvin's definitely the leader there, and then man, it's kind of hard to come in and replicate Jalen Hyatt, man. But that guy's going out on a fairy tale ending, 108 receptions, 1,769 yards, and 19 touchdowns as of all, man. So absolutely crazy. This year is thinking that it could be his year. He's going to be the guy to step up. Cedric went down. Jalen, obviously the 5 touchdowns against Bama, breaking the all-time receiving yards record at Tennessee. That's going to be one hard to replicate. But when it comes to speed, we are set. We got Squirrel White. I think Bama kind of forgot about that. They were kind of celebrating today with Jalen announced, not knowing that we got someone faster and just getting started here. So I definitely agree with you on the Squirrel part.
Fact.
Ramel Keaton, man, that guy's a dog. He's going to go out there and get it. And then Brew McCoy, he's going to go out there and play, just lights out. Anyway, I agree with you. Like whenever Cedric got the ball, I feel like every other receiver, they get the ball in their hands and they still go forward. They just keep going forward. Like Cedric catch the ball, stop it, go to the next play, hurry up offense. Yeah, we ran our tempo, but I don't think we got all the yards that we could have got. I
Mhm.
agree with you. So having that kind of mixture in, man, if we can get the run game going, I think Clemson has 2 opt-outs right now, one defensive lineman and a linebacker. So the opt-outs are coming from their side as well, but obviously more important players on our end, man. Just
Mhm.
gonna be a crazy one, but I definitely think all in all, man, South Beach, it's not gonna get any better, man. Like we're gonna close out strong. And you saw today, you mentioned the early enrollees coming in, man. Like we're closing out this class with
Yeah.
perfection, man. It's
Number
crazy.
nine now. Number
Yeah.
nine now.
So, yeah. So today, number 9 on the 24/7 Sports Composite ranking. Okay. Tennessee getting the commitment, obviously, from the Smyrna, Tennessee native 4-star linebacker Arion Carter, picking Tennessee over Alabama and Ohio
Boy about gave
State.
me a damn heart attack where he was playing with them hats, man. I'm like, bro, I know
Man,
you lying.
man, I was like, it was weird to me because like bro was like touching with his left hand and like reaching in the thing with his right and was like just messing around like he obviously knew he was gonna grab a hat out the bag the whole time.
That
But
was
man,
smart of him though, man, because the Tennessee hat looked like that he had on the table looked like it was never worn. And then the
yeah,
Alabama hat, you could tell that it was worn.
it
That's
was a little,
normally a telltale sign on who they're gonna pick. But I
yeah,
think he did that on purpose because he knew and he knows because he was pretty silent about his recruitment, until the very end. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Well, I mean, like let's talk about that actually. Obviously the hats, everyone wants to pay attention to the hats, but let's go in depth with it, man. This guy, a couple weeks ago was committed as a running back to Memphis, reopened his commitment or recruitment. Alabama was on him first. Alabama was, there, the same week they had him, on campus, visiting Nick
Mm-hmm.
Saban, talking to him, telling him he was a priority. Tennessee, being a couple days late to that offer. Obviously, the Tennessee native ended up being teammates Caleb Herring, Nathan Robinson, a bunch of other guys, state guys, Nate Spillman. So obviously the connection there in Tennessee. Uh, like you said, this guy was, a heavy Bama lean leading up to about the last week or two. Obviously, a lot of motion was there after his unofficial visit when Tennessee got him on campus. Tennessee got him on campus for his official, and then after Alabama went in with Nick Saban, Tennessee went in with Josh Heupel, and I think Rob, that's what's kind of closed the deal in the last 48 hours of that because even though Josh Heupel went out there and closed that visit, I think this was one of those recruitments that you don't see a lot in college football anymore. It was really down to the wire. This one was, rumors that, Arion Carter was getting texted and called that he had switched back to, being a Bama lean just 24 hours before he announced and then, went back with the Vols. Alabama getting their NIL collective and everyone on the phone call that they were allowed to have. And it was just kind of crazy seeing that kind of recruiting battle, Tennessee being in that again, especially for an in-state prospect. All in all, Tennessee comes out, gets the commitment. Doesn't matter if Alabama's defensive coordinator is trying to get into the kid's school. Doesn't matter how many times he calls, voicemails. I don't think that guy should be around a high school. But obviously, to have all that going on, Bama begging on their hands and knees, and he still picks Tennessee. Rob, what was your takeaway from this huge commitment for the Vols defense?
Man, it was huge because when he committed, I was actually listening to Swain's show, and they got him on. Austin Price came on, and Arion Carter came on, and if we're being honest, Arion Carter basically his exact words, not verbatim, but basically what he said was, if it wasn't for Josh Heupel, I'd be at Alabama. That's pretty much what he said. Josh Heupel took over his recruitment and built a very, very strong relationship with him and made him feel like a priority, made him feel like he really wanted him, needed him, family, everything, whatever the case may be. Coach Hype gave him every single feeling that he needed and that he wanted, and he closed the deal. So for all these, UCF buttheads who swear Josh Heupel can recruit, proof's
He's
in the
out,
pudding right
bro.
there, man. Proof is in
Man,
the pudding right there, man. Arion Carter literally, essentially, he admitted that he wouldn't have picked Tennessee if it wasn't for Josh Heupel. So a lot of credit to Josh Heupel there, man, because it's not normal for a head coach to take over recruitment like that, and it's also very, very hard to tell Nick Saban no.
mhm.
Very hard. So Josh Heupel, I
Well,
mean, he already had my respect, but Josh Heupel did his thing on there because he out recruited Nick Saban, and that's
oh
not
yeah.
something you're gonna do. 10 times out of 10, you're not gonna win that.
Man, so like I thought that was kind of crazy because obviously Tennessee went in home last. They went in at Hyper went in after Saban, but Bama the day after was able to have that last phone call with him, that last in-house little talk to talk, getting the collective on. It was like an all in all huge operation for Bama to go in here and close this one out and make sure they had this thing secured, and it just kept on trending for the Vols, man. Having Pete Golding showing up in Smyrna, Tennessee at Smyrna High School, like you wouldn't hear that for any other prospect, man. Like they're not coming out here all the way to Tennessee after an in-home visit, staying in the state for an extra 2 days for one commitment, making sure they try to close this one out. And my boy Caleb Herron, Vols commit edge rusher from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. He was with Arion Carter today during his commitment. They're watching it live, and he said the direct quote to Pete Golden whenever he was calling him and asking to come to the school today. No, sir. Thank you for recruiting me. And that was the last, words. So this is like, no, sir. Don't come in. Thank you for recruiting me. And man, like to see like Austin Price, credit to Austin Price at VolQuest on 3, saying that, Golden was, asking to come into the school, and, Carter and his family said, nah, no, thanks. This one's over. Like, thank you for your time, but, we're done.
Yeah.
Seeing him put on that orange hat, man, a huge lockdown for the state, man. This is a class where, we talked about for years. You got to go down there and lock down the state. Tennessee did that this year with the top players in the state, and it's, arguably not even close, man. I think actually Arion got a bump on the 24/7 Sports, composite. I think he's up to like the 14th linebacker in the country and a top 200 player. So, I mean, already rising, man. And, if he committed to Bama, that Bama bump would have been crazy, right?
You'd probably be a 5-star.
That's what I'm saying, bro. It's crazy.
So I think on 247 Sports, I think it's the first 35 are all 5 stars, 35 players.
Yeah.
They got Cameron Seldon at 36. He's at 36. I'm like, all right, bro, cool.
Right.
Also, so when I actually looked on the website, and so when you look at the recruiting rankings, like recruiting class for 247, it still shows that Nico is like the number 4 player in the country, and it shows that Davion Hobbs is like the number 51 player in the country. He hasn't updated that he's 20 and Nico's number 2 on the actual site.
Yeah.
Well, like
Yeah.
on the site it is, but not in the recruiting ranking section. So once they fix that, Tennessee might jump up again, unless I'm just reading it wrong and it's just how it is. But I don't know.
I don't know, man. The composite, the actual rankings, everything's messed up. I know that David got his 5th star the other day, making him
he's
a
number
full
20.
on. Yeah, he's a full on composite 5-star now on 24/7 and on 3. So obviously we kind of knew that. But all for you stargazers that did comment under his commitment post saying, "Oh, he's a 4-star, he's not a 5-star." No, Tennessee has up to 3 5-stars in this class, and arguably could have 4 or 5 if you really look at it, with Ethan Davis and Caleb Herron being on the outside looking in as well, and Cameron Sutton, man, like. If this class ends
He's
up
one
outside,
spot away from being a 5-star, literally one
so
spot.
if this class somehow, ends up out of the top 10, I still think this is one of the best classes for Tennessee because they got everything they needed. They went D-line, edge, and linebacker and corner heavy. They got everything they needed on the defensive side. You got your program changing quarterback. You got a rising star in Nathan Leacock. who, was, an unheard of, unranked wide receiver when he took his commitment. Now he's a top 200 prospect, 4-star wide receiver. And then, the late additions of Khalifa Keith and, Cameron Seldon still being able to play running back as well, man. I think all in all, like, Tennessee is putting their pieces of the puzzle together, man. This class is shaping up to be like one of the best, most underrated, in my opinion.
Any other year, this class is probably top 5.
Oh, for sure.
I'm being honest. If this is last year or if this was 2024 class, this class is 100% a top 5 recruiting class. It's just this 23 cycle. These classes are loaded,
Wow,
man.
bro.
It's talent everywhere. This is one of the best classes that I've seen in quite a while, because any other year, this Tennessee recruiting class is 100% top 5. So, kudos to everybody out there recruiting, man. Love it. Sets up well for college football, man. Good football coming in the next couple of years.
Yeah. So Arion also mentioned on the post that Bama, they were going to try to make a final push late after that. He's not taking any more phone calls. Arion's getting in the car tomorrow morning, heading up to Knoxville, rolling into class and getting on campus. He'll be at practice in the first practice. So obviously Tennessee moving fast there. I think we have now that makes 16 early enrollees, man. And like you said, the bowl practices, absolutely, crazy. You're kind of seeing everybody all around. I've seen Jack Luttrell and Nico all sign their financial aid agreements. Mm-hmm. Everyone kind of seeing that, getting hype. January 21st or no, December 21st. So December 21st starts the official 3-day period of signing day. This year it's a 3-day period, I believe, but you're going to see a lot of ours on the 21st. It's kind of getting it over and done with, closing everything out. You might see some get edged out, but Tennessee, man, to get this kind of class in here early, not only did you do it, but you're securing it, getting them on campus, all signing their agreements. And, man, it's just all in all, you look at the names, like we already mentioned, Caleb Herring, Ethan Davis, but, Jordan Matthews, Ricky Gibson, Jalen Smith, and Jeremiah Thielander, who were 2 of the top linebackers in the state of Georgia this year, man.
Sylvester's going to be really good, too.
Sylvester Smith, exactly, man. John Slaughter, who was, Mr. 6A Mississippi football. Like, I think all in all, man, like everyone that we've recruited has like some kind of achievement. This staff loves production, even at the high school level. And if they bring that on the field here, man, like no matter what, if they didn't get the bump that we thought they would have, like we know what kind of prospects we're getting under Heupel. If they can make them like some good coaching, man, like these kids are going to work. So huge class, obviously a lot to look forward to. That also leads into what we talked about with the Orange Bowl. After that game, impressing more, recruits, but that also leads into the transfer portal. Last week when we were on the show, we got Larry Johnson, the commitment, live on the show, breaking news. We had the tight end commitment from UC Davis and the Indiana kicker Charles Campbell. Obviously, been quiet ever since. I think most of the recruits that Tennessee has kind of gone after have been taking their first or second visit somewhere else and kind of go ahead and getting locked in, committing. Which is kind of the used to thing, man. When a lot of these kids enter the portal, they kind of have an idea where they're going, where their top choice is going to be, but they'll still hear you out. A lot of the D-line, I think Tennessee's being more precautious on their D-line portal recruiting than they are their offensive, just because they know offensive, like you need this best skill players. Like defensive, they're kind of being picky and choosy. Offensively, Dante Thornton from Oregon, still trying to get him in on a visit. The Kent State wide receiver. And then also Ryan O'Keefe from UCF. Still all talks there, man. Defensively, Tennessee's kind of been striking out. You had the McCullough brothers commit to Oklahoma. Bars from Arizona committed to USC. So a lot of these guys, they have that kind of idea, Rob, where they're going to go. But, Tennessee's still reaching out, making that contact. You would love Tennessee to, kind of get involved early like these teams are. But they're being smart. No tampering going on right now. And I think you're going to kind of see this go later into the portal where Tennessee gets more active.
Man, it's tampering all over college football, man. You be a fool now. You be a fool to think that no one's doing it. You be a fool. Oh, Tennessee's not doing that. Okay, believe that you want to.
We know.
Nah, man. Every school is unintentionally tampering. Be like, hey, Hendo, text your boy from Virginia Tech, man. Tell him to come up here. Hendo text him. That's not technically. That is
not.
It's not.
Players on players is not. Yeah, exactly. For sure.
So
I agree with that for sure. And I ain't even trying to say that, no tampering is going on, because let's be honest, come on.
Yeah. It's funny, man.
Man, so all in all, I think Tennessee's still Jalen Hyatt officially entering. You kind of knew Cedric Tillman was gone. You had the idea that Jalen Hyatt was gone. You had the idea. And I think all in all, Tennessee had these scenarios just in case boards. They've probably definitely looked out to it. I look at that Rhode Island offensive tackle transfer. Want to see Tennessee kind of reach out to him. Just a lot of guys, definitely a lot of skill guys on the offensive side of the ball to kind of fill in. But there's not many names in right now, man. I mean, I've been seeing like a lot of smoke on guys that haven't entered yet. But, obviously guys that haven't entered the portal, like, let's be honest, like we're not going to dive into that. So just a day-by-day process, man. We've seen it, though, with the last two pickups and the first two pickups. I mean, like, it happens in a day. It can happen boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Tennessee, deciding to move on from Elijah Davis. They can, decide to go find a random other guy and take his commitment the same day. So you never know what name's going to pop up in the portal. And that's kind of why you have to be so quiet and, like, 50-50 with it, because you never really know what's going to happen in the portal era of recruiting, bro, compared to
That
regular
is
high
true.
school. Like,
It definitely feels like they're waiting on the right bodies to come in, man. Me personally, like I said, I'm not a coach. I don't get paid millions to
sure.
recruit and do this and all that. But I mean, the number one JUCO defensive lineman in the country wants to come to your school, and you turn them down. That's kind of tough, especially when you need D linemen. You know what I mean? But Tennessee has their reasons. Ain't no telling what it is. I'm sure they got their reasons. They're smarter than me. They know the game. They get paid the big bucks to do this. I don't. I'm just a big fan. So, it is what it is. But I feel like if your defensive line coach wants to know one recruit in the country, you should probably take him. But hey,
That's
ain't my
me.
job.
And it's just
Ain't my
crazy because
job.
after that, right? After they were like, oh, we're not going to take him. We've had 3 or 4 defensive linemen that we offered go to other schools. Even including that Caleb Banks guy that from Maryland that went to Florida. So I think definitely Tennessee has to look in there. I think it's smart to being confident picking and choosing, because you definitely, the 2 pickups you did get, I mean, they were smart in that. They got an NFL ready tight end, they got a NFL ready kicker. So I ain't gonna judge it. I'm gonna let them do the thing, man. But all in all, man, just kind of crazy going on. I think this kind of off season, like you said, it's getting to a point where it's almost better than like the real shit. Even though I went to every single home game, like it's different looking at your phone, looking for nugs, seeing a new thing pop up, seeing someone trending one way, but getting a call and being like, oh no, let me hear this out. And even even the high school, man, like we're closing in on early signing day. We just saw an in-state prospect, maybe even one of the bigger. I would compare this. I would say this is a bigger, scenario pickup or loss than the whole Walter Nolan thing. Like, just in my opinion, coming down to the wire against Bama. Like, I know a lot of people aren't going to like that, but I think it truly was. And getting that recruiting win, man, like, you didn't take no for an answer. And yeah, a lot of that has to do with, help from our collective and getting that final number. But man, Josh Heupel, like you said, Arion Carter said, it wasn't for Josh Heupel, going full court press and making me a priority. Like, man. So all in all, a lot to look forward to, a lot of names to, look out for. And man, just all in all crazy. Orange Bowl starts soon. Those guys will get 2 to 3 weeks of fresh practice. No telling how much, work or reps these freshmen are going to get, but any valuable reps, man, I feel like that'll, dive into, because you got to realize this is Heupel's first real class, or second real class, but his first like fully developed class. He can go in and, establish these guys. And I've always said that Josh Heupel's system, we're going to have these players that we appreciate, like Hendon Hooker and Jalen Hyatt, but a lot of our guys are just, chess pieces on a board of Heupel's system, man. And you're going to see this guy be able to do this for, I think, a long time, of being able to go and put these guys in and establish them. And if he rebuilds his offense and can continue the recruiting on defense, after all these departures, and keep on going out there and putting on teams to go out 8-4, 9-3, 10-2 every year, man, like this, it's going to be successful, man.
Well, I will say this. I think Josh Heupel's put himself in a predicament that he loves to be in, but it's gonna be hard to be in. You going 10-2 in your second year means you have to go 10-2 or better every single year from here on out. That's how the fans look at it. That's how the fans look at it. Like,
true.
No, if you can go 10-2 with a depleted roster, and then you can go 10-2, 11-1, 12-0, this is your third recruiting class. Figure it out. That's how the fans are gonna see it. That's how Tennessee fans see it. That's how pretty much anyone will see it. This Tennessee fan base is not patient at all. I'm not patient, but I'm also a little bit realistic. Realistically,
Sure.
when they first hired Hype, I was like, this is going to take a 3 to 4 year rebuild. Okay, so year 2, boom, he hits a growth spurt out of nowhere. You know what I mean? So year 3, you got to build on it, man. You have to. You have to build on it, man. You have to go out there and find a way and win 10 or more games from here on out.
Hey,
It's
man.
unfair. It's unrealistic at this point, still with a depleted roster. But if you can do it with the roster that you had, you can do it with consecutive classes coming in. You just gotta
Hey, like,
keep recruiting, develop.
hey, man. Obviously, I think more importantly it starts with the classes, but now you have this tool with the transfer portal where you can go in and add these guys, and if you can
Mhm.
get production, man, like which I think they're trying to do, there ain't no telling what's gonna happen. Like we saw freaking Brian Kelly go to the SEC championship in year one with a whole brand new LSU roster of guys that left after Edo left and all the drafts picks they've had. So I mean, everything's possible, man. I think obviously that's why I point back to this scheme and saying it's a chess match for Hypo because he's going to go out there and be able to scheme up against teams and like people haven't been able to stop the air raid and like at least for decades. I don't think they're going to be able to stop this up tempo Hypo offense that he's modified anytime soon. I just don't think the game's there to keep up yet, even though you're seeing it be established a lot like everywhere else now.
Well, see, the thing is, man, people always say, "Oh, it's just because of the scheme. It's just because of the scheme." That is not true
No.
because you have to have the players to go out there and go do it. Yes, Jalen Hyatt, there was plays set up for him to run right past people, but here's the thing: everyone knew it was coming, and they still couldn't stop it. There's only one team well, I'll say two teams. There's only two teams that stopped Jalen Hyatt from doing whatever the hell he wanted to do all season, and that's Georgia and that's South Carolina. In the Georgia game, it was a monsoon. It was raining. He pulled up early on one ball that Hooker threw to him. That if he keeps running, it's a touchdown.
He hit that ref and he got fucked up too.
Yeah, it's a touchdown if Jalen Hyatt keeps running and he doesn't pull up. You can see it right there on TV. If you go watch the replay, he slowed up. He had a bomb for a touchdown against Georgia, but he slowed up. Could have been a difference in the game against South Carolina. I don't know what the hell happened, bro.
I don't know, man.
I don't even know, bro. I can't even speak on
I
that.
don't know, man.
That
I
that
don't
was
know.
just a bad game, but everyone has them. It happens. No one's perfect. You're asking 18 to 23 to 24-year-olds. Shout out Henry Hooker. You're asking these kids to be consistent every single day, every single Saturday playing football. Fools in the NFL, and well, I mean, they're more consistent, but they're not as consistent as you would think they would be to be professional players. It's very hard to be age 18 to 21 and be extremely consistent every single week playing football, basketball, baseball, whatever the case may be. It's not easy to do. And
Hey,
that's
man.
what is expected.
Hey, man. Then you go out there and ball like you Brock Purdy, man. You never know what's gonna happen. So, hey,
That's
that
true.
means a dog. But
Hey,
all in all, man, I definitely think you're gonna have to, look in the mirror and be like, all right, what do I got? And you're gonna see what you got in Miami. But I just hope it's not too late at certain positions of guys that kind of have a thought in their mind of like what they want to do or if they want to wait out for a lot of positions. I just think a lot of this goes both ways. But if Tennessee can attack it the right way while maintaining what they got and build on top of that, that comes with a win. And I think a lot of people are kind of like, I think with the more that people are looking at Clemson as a loss, I've been seeing so many takes ever since, Hyatt and Tillman and Wright have all kind of declared, and everyone's like selling their Orange Bowl tickets or, tapping out, saying it was fun when it lasted. This is an exhibition game, blah, 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 blah. If we win this game, and I think that, not only lights the ignition and the fans going into next year, but the program in a whole, man, like that's going to put a lot of these guys that are watching on December 30th at 8 p.m. on notice.
agreed. It is. It is, and
So
that's another problem with people in this fan base, man. Like they're just writing the team off automatically simply because it's a couple players
some
opting out.
opt-outs, man.
I
But
mean, Cedric Tillman has partially played all season long. You still went 10-2. Okay, Jalen Hyatt. Don't get me wrong. Jalen Hyatt has had an unbelievable season. He got the awards. He got the recognition. He deserved everything. But here's one thing you have to remember for you schematic people. If it's the scheme that gets him open every single time,
someone else is going
then
to get open. Let me see.
somebody else is gonna get open. Meaning what? Squirrel White finna have a field day with that ass against Clemson. Because if you can't stay in front of Jalen Hyatt, you damn sure ain't stand in front of Squirrel White. So
Hey, man,
good
that's
luck.
what I'm trying to say, man.
Good luck.
Nah,
That's
for
all I got to
real.
say.
I think this is a game where like you're losing a lot of people, but you're seeing the next stars, the
Mm,
next fan favorites, and like a lot of these same people that are this and the team are going to be at home watching and being like talking about names they're going to talking about for like the next 2 or 3 years. After seeing that Orange Bowl game and seeing, oh, can you replicate what he did in the Orange Bowl? I just hope that's the factor for us. Obviously, closing out what we have coming in, man. Like in the operation of it, not on the field, but the operation of the whole health-wise at an all-time high. Tennessee doing things the right way. You're seeing that today with a huge pickup, closing out right. Does Tennessee get involved with more people? Do they have some special splashes? Man, you still got Deshaun Bishop out there waiting to be a Vols. So I think Tennessee might add to the running back room. But, man, it's just a bunch to kind of tap into. Today's December 14th, 16 days away from game day at this time, literally at this time right now, probably the end of the first quarter in the Orange Bowl, Hard Rock Stadium. Excited about that, making the trip out there, flying out. Gonna be a super great one. Obviously the whole ATB crew going out there. Not sure if my boy Rob, you going?
I was, man, but I gotta stay home for this one, bro, because literally the very next day I'm flying to Illinois, so there's no way I'll be having a 1-year-old. It's not gonna happen.
Miami to Illinois, back to Colorado. Man,
yeah, it's just not gonna happen. So I ain't able to, but I'll be down there for a basketball game in one of these next few weeks. We'll see if I want to go to, and I could fly out there and see one of the games.
No, for sure.
Baseball too.
Oh yeah, baseball coming up too, man.
They could actually go to Omaha this time. I'll drive there. Like I was literally about to get in my truck and drive to Omaha, and then they lost to Notre Dame. I was like, great.
Man, thanks. I think the preseason rankings will come out here soon for baseball. I expect them to be in the top 5, if not the number 1 team in the country, as they should be.
They won't be number 1. They'll be number 2.
Number 2?
Yeah, they'll be number 2.
The elite Rob thing, or you just got a feeling?
I guarantee you they'll be number 2, and LSU will be number 1. LSU is freaking loaded, bro.
That's true.
LSU is loaded.
They went crazy in the pool of that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and
man.
they got Tommy Tanks too, and they got that Air Force. That Air Force. Yeah, the crazy thing is he was a lock to Tennessee, but
he got fucked.
He wanted to be a day 1 pitcher. It's like, bro, you're not about to start over Chase Dolander. He's basically the number 1 pick in the draft next year. You're not gonna be a day 1. You're not gonna be a day 2 over Chase Burns, and you're probably ain't gonna be day 3 over doggone Drew Bean. We want you at catcher because we need a catcher. And he's like, oh, well, I'm gonna go to LSU. All right, then you do that. Boom, we get a catcher from what was it? Belmont or Liberty, wherever it was that he came from. And then he gets drafted and he signs. And it's like, bro, what was the point of you even committing to Tennessee? You knew you was gonna sign with MLB the whole time. Like, come on. Man. So now Jared Dickey is
That's my dog, though. That's my dog. Jared Dickey finally healthy. Revenge arc season for my boy Dickey. That's my dog.
One of the best hitters on the team, if not the best hitter. Just pure hitter, not home run wise. We know who that is, but just as far as pure hitting, Jared Dickey might be the best hitter on the team.
Blake Berkey. Nah, for sure, man. Now I'm happy about baseball, man. I don't even know how we got to the baseball topic, man. I was trying to close this out. Now I'm over here.
Hey, we can close it. I ain't tripping.
I'm ready to go watch some Tony Vitello highlights. Nah, but I think Friday, if not Friday, but definitely next Wednesday, doing a full show. Hopefully everybody be in here. I promise. The brand ain't split up. At least nothing bad's happened. Lowe moved into our new crib. Drew is in Costa Rica, kind of getting sick. Everything's going around. Everybody's sick, goddamn. Everybody's sick. So Drew getting rid of that. And then Alex, he kind of made plans because I didn't tell him we were doing a show. So me and Rob taking care of business once again. I know we got a lot to look forward to. Saturday, huge game against Arizona. A lot to look out for that. We might have a show the day before that game on this Friday with the full crew. So definitely check the Twitter and look out for all of that. Baseball's craziness. I can't believe that's already around the corner. And then with the football team, man, I know lots to look forward to. We're looking for a late path in December, which we haven't had a long time. So looking forward to that Orange Bowl, but also Josh Heupel, how he's going to close and who he's going to bring in, man. Does he land Dante Thornton? Does he land a big-time splash in the portal? A lot of production out there. I definitely think that some people are going to listen, especially after what we did this year compared to last year. So a lot to look out for that. Hopefully, I'm going to do some talking behind the scenes. We're going to be seeing a lot more of my boy Rob here on the ATB show. So definitely look out for that. Be me, Drew, Lowe, Rob, Alex. Definitely try to look out for that, or maybe just the full. We'll see. But we'll be back here soon. Definitely expect. Gonna go ahead and predict Tennessee BasketVols win against Arizona. I'm gonna say 75-68, Rob.
Have you lost your mind? If Tennessee wins this game, I can promise you the score will be 60-55. That's what the score is going to be. You crazy if you think Tennessee finna score 75 and they finna give up over 55 points. You're just crazy.
You kind of right, man. That should be 30.
They are going
35.
Arizona will 100% have to hit 10 or more threes if they want to get past 55. Because if they drive the paint, they can just kiss that goodnight because it's not going to happen. You want to shoot threes all day? Okay, you're going to have to make threes because that's what Tennessee's going to force them to do. Force them to take threes. If you hit them, all right, then we switch it up. But realistically, you're not that consistent from behind a 3-point line like that. Good team, great team, wonderful team. But we'll see. We'll see.
Well,
Last
damn,
year was one
man.
thing. This year's another thing.
Rico Walker just committed to freaking Maryland, bro. What the frick?
Rico Walker from North Carolina.
But he wasn't even take care of them. So I mean, let's just be real. But yeah, man.
That's
Obviously,
crazy. Tennessee's able to turn away players now. Would have never thought that was coming.
hey, but we got our man. We got my boy Carter turning away Alabama, and as I guess you could say to recap that whole thing, the great Morgan Wallen said the joke's on Alabama because you lost big this time. You brought a whole adult man coach to a Smyrna high school, and you still lost big. And we were told thanks but no thanks by Arion Carter. So definitely look forward to y'all meeting him for the next 4 years in Neyland and Bryant Denny. That's going to be great.
He ain't
Next
gonna
week,
play 4 years. He'll be a 3. He ain't gonna play 4 years.
See, Rob
He's
says
too
Arion
good.
Carter that dog. He got
He's
that
too,
dog.
bro. I really think Arion Carter. I think this defensive class that they brought in. I think each and every last one of them, if they come in and do the right things and do the work the way that they're supposed to, the way that they say that they're going to, I think this defense has a really, really good chance to be really, really good in the next 2 to 3 years, and I think they can all go. I do. They bringing in some dogs, man. I really see it. I ain't saying Kirby Smart style last year, but I can see a pretty good defense, man. I seen someone on Twitter earlier say that Rodney Garner was overrated. I was like,
I bet.
I've literally never heard anyone. He's a Georgia fan. He's like, I know because he used to be here at Georgia, and I've been a Georgia fan my whole life. And I'm like, bro, you just called a top 3 defensive lineman coach in the country. You just called him overrated. Bro, look at his resume. Look at his history. Look at all the first rounders he's produced, man. But hey, Georgia fans got it, man. They run college football right now, so whatever. I guess they always right. But it makes me feel.
Hey man, I don't care. Nothing's gonna ruin this part for me. We're going to fucking Miami. I'm going to Miami. I'm enjoying a nice 5-day vacation away from work.
Yeah.
Having fun, getting on here live, talking about it to the people. Obviously, crazy breaking news. Tennessee does the off season like no one else does. So be on the lookout, man. Make sure to hit the bell, turn on notification when we all go live. All the live tweets for your day-to-day, game-by-game breakdowns. Rob, last comments before we end it off on here.
Go big damn orange, man. That's about all I got to say, man. Let's go get these wins, man. Let's go get this dub against Arizona, man, because they remember last year. They remember.
Man, the Rick Barnes story, indie storytelling, man, it starts right now. We're going, Rob. This is the year, damn it. Nah, let me stop. I'm not gonna hit it off like that. Hey man, Orange Bowl though. I'm all football, man. I don't care about no basketball right now. I'll watch it. That's my dog, but I'm rocking with the Dodgers right now. This is a special season. Went to every home game, trying to end it off right. And hey man, Josh Heupel's going out here and he's winning on and off the field, man. So a lot to look forward to, man. Look out for Friday's episode. If not Friday, back here next Wednesday. Might have a guest, might not. So be on the lookout for that. Rob, it's been a pleasure tuning in for the last 2 weeks, brother.
Hey, hit me up anytime, man. I'm here.
Yeah, man. Go back. Make sure to go follow my boy. I'm gonna tag him in the below. BigShotRob44. True Vol Twitter legend. So appreciate y'all for tuning in. Be on the lookout for all the news. And until next time, good night and go Vols. Yes, sure.